It reared up on its hind legs and stared at me. It may be that I was just scared, but I swear that dog was smiling at me. I'm Acadia Einstein, and this is Strangeful Things.
Sheltering in place is not advised, as your survival cannot be ensured in that scenario.
Love has practically caused me to just get you destroyed.
Unsolved, unresolved, and super complicated.
Strangeful Things.
Like, was he smiling and like laughing like the dog from Laugh Olympics?
I mean, maybe. Maybe.
What was his name?
Smedley.
Smedley, yeah.
Yeah, Smedley.
Come on, Smedley.
The really rottens never got to win.
They really never, yeah. Did they ever throw him a bone, like give it to him once?
They won like a couple times.
A couple.
Obviously,
yeah.
they cheated.
Like the generals, yes.
Right. Welcome to Strangeful Things. My name is Acadia, and I'm here with Shuey.
Hey, everybody.
We were talking a little bit of sports right there at the beginning of the show, but don't get it twisted.
I was just going to cut all that out.
No, stays in. We're not a sports show.
We're not?
Nope. Well, I mean, we could be, depending on the topic.
Well, what if cryptids put together a soccer team?
I mean,
what if the Oakville Blobs became an actual minor league baseball team?
If there was a minor league team in Oakwood and it was not called the Blobs, then I would protest.
I would be shocked.
Yeah,
that's a reference to an earlier season episode, the Oakville Blobs.
Yeah, thanks, the NPR mouth. Anyway, we talk about weird shit, and we do not do it reverently, mostly. So take that into account. But you're not going to get too mad this week because we're talking about the Michigan Dogman. Yep. I'm not 100% happy with the fact that it's called the Michigan Dogman because it makes dog the adjective. Like assuming that, it must be a man with
he's
dog.
He's more man than dog, yeah.
Right. Whereas it could be, I mean, like a man dog.
Could have been a dog that got bitten by a dude.
Well, I'm not sure how that comes into it. I don't know where the biting, well, I guess you would think.
Well, I don't know, because you'd think werewolf, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Default.
But I was thinking, like, a dog with a person's face, that would be disconcerting.
Like the opposite of Goofy.
Yeah. The opposite of Goofy. It's just a dog, but he looks just like Tim Conway.
Dwarf.
Yep. Well, no, they wouldn't all be dwarf. The little, like pugs, like miniature dogs would be dwarf.
Regular.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course.
But regular sized dogs would be different Tim Conway characters. Like Apple Dumpling Gang or some shit like that.
Apple.
So, or whichever one when they were like Sherlock Holmes or whatever it was. So
it could be the boss from the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah, see. Now this story is kind of all over the place because it's a cryptid story, but I do have to say I like the fact that it is geographically focused. I mean, the name of it is geographically focused. The actual encounters with the Dogman all over the fucking map.
Literally. So they're not even all in Michigan?
No, they're not even all in America.
Then why is he the Michigan Dogman?
Because...
And how do we know it's a man? Is he hanging?
I mean...
Do we know that it's a Dogman?
Should
it really be the Wisconsin dog person?
Yeah, well...
The Midwest dog person?
Yeah, the Midwest...
Lupine.
Yeah, it's a lupine American.
I'm sorry. I've derailed this episode as much as I could so far. So
I mean, we haven't had any episode whatsoever. None. I just said the name.
I know.
The reason that it's attributed to a man is because it's a scary monster. No one would be like they'd never be, oh yeah, you better not go out in that lake, or the Trumbull, Connecticut hornpout lady will get you. Nobody would be afraid of that.
Well, the Lake Ronkonkoma is a feminine character.
Well, yeah, but she's a ghost.
But she's a ghost, yeah.
Right, so that's different. Ghosts will fuck you up no matter what. But I guess but Nessie is a lady.
Nessie.
Otherwise it would be Nesser, I guess. So let's get to the Dogman, because I'm sick of you trying to get me off the track. We're going to go to Wexford County, Michigan in 1887, and we're going to sit down with a couple burly lumberjacks. What was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where he got raped by the bear?
The Revenant?
Yeah.
Revenant?
Where the bear...
No, never saw it. He fights a bear to like the death. And
I think the bear raped him.
Yeah, I guess he gets raped or something. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't care about cowboy stuff. Yeah, it's not even that. It's just I don't want anything that's like going to push realism in my face too much.
I don't want to.
Like, I don't want to.
What do you mean? You're just discrediting our entire show.
I don't want to push like stuff that's actually like I don't know. I don't know. I just I don't see like a guy getting tortured like in the Old West. Like
we just did Al Kite, and he got tortured.
Well, he got tortured, but he got tortured in a recliner. So that's
you got shit very compartmentalized, man. Very.
I have to. You have to.
Oh, by the way,
that's the world we live in.
Welcome back from having coronavirus, being a coronavirus hog.
Corona 2, baby.
Trying to get it as many times.
I've had both Delta and Omicron. But bam!
I think you had it in the middle there too.
I thought I did too, but I tested negative that time.
Yeah, I don't buy it. Anyways, you're back. Hannah and I did.
Thank you, Hannah, for taking the
not having a horrible disease. All right, 1887 lumberjacks. They were lumberjacking each other off, and they saw something, and they said it had a man's body and a dog's head, which is bullshit, but whatever. And that's where it started. All right.
Okay.
These lumberjacks. Now there's
what was it? 67, you said?
1887.
87.
1867. They didn't know what dogs were in 1867. Come on, science did not.
Dogs weren't invented.
They weren't invented yet.
1875.
So then we had a kind of a gap, and I think it's a gap of reporting rather than a gap of incidents. Because after the lumberjack thing, and there's two different stories about the lumberjack, the subtext of our entire show, ladies and gentlemen, is how terrible all the information on the internet is for the most part.
Yes.
Like, because one story is that the lumberjack said, well, that's a fucking man with a dog head. Let's run away because we don't want him to get us.
I could see that.
Then the other one was, they chased it into a hole or poked it with a stick or some shit like that.
That sounds like a bullshit story.
Right.
That sounds like a guy's trying to cover for the fact that they're chicken.
Yeah, I think that's the story they told.
No, we scared it away, I swear. Like, because first of all, a man-sized thing isn't crawling into a hole, more than likely.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true, too. Well, no,
a lot of big mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
you'll find out how big he is. So then we're gonna jump.
He's big.
We're gonna jump
to 1983 when he stars with Barbara Dare.
That's real.
Oh, sorry.
No, not at all. We're going to Paris, Michigan, but we're gonna jump all the way to 1938.
Paris.
Yeah.
Is this on the Western Peninsula or
so? It's upper. You mean the Upper Peninsula?
Upper Peninsula. I meant upper. Yeah.
Clod. All four of our Michigan listeners are outraged. It's
Whatever.
the thumb of the mitten.
Sorry.
See, I know what's up, Michigan. What? Little shout out to Michigan there. Michigan happens to be our 17th biggest U.S. market.
Woo!
State. So
nice.
I got your back, Michigan.
Love you, Michigan.
I know.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not great at geography. So
remember, he's a clod. He can't help it. He's an uncultured. Rude.
I really can't. It's true.
Anyways, this kid, Robert Fortney, he was fishing.
He was fishing?
Yep. And he was only 17. It was 1938. And then he said that a pack of what he thought were wild dogs came out of the woods.
Uh-oh.
So he was like, well, shit, I better be really still so the dogs don't get me. That didn't work because if he saw the dogs certainly saw him because dogs can see better.
It's not Jurassic Park.
Right. Luckily, since it was 1938 and he was 17, he was fishing with his fucking rifle. It's not that...
It was, again, that's probably the case now.
Yeah. So he shot in the air and all the dogs ran away except for the boss of the dogs. And
the alpha.
He said that it was a huge black dog with blue eyes. And that threw him off because he said that dogs don't have blue eyes usually, which I don't know. I've never fucking...
Most don't, but they can. Huskies will often have blue eyes. Wolves have blue eyes.
What am I? I'm not trying to fucking like remember it so that I can get quizzed later on when we're on a date to prove that I love the dog. I don't give a shit. He shot over the head of the dog and it stood up on its hind legs and went basically, the fuck, guy? Don't shoot at me, and scared him. That's when he thought that the dog was smiling at me. Now, I would say if I was going to scare a dog away and the dog like stood up and gave me sass, like some kind of the fuck you think you're doing guy look, I would be very apprehensive. Yeah. But obviously, since he gave this interview in 1987, he didn't fucking die, so whatever. It's not even a dog man, it's just a dog. It's just a sassy dog.
It's just a sassy dog that somehow decided to stand on its hind legs.
Look how tall I am. So really, honestly, other than that wasn't the best. I'm not really selling the Dogman. We're going to go to Big Rapids, Michigan. We're going to jump forward to 1961 because we've got photographic evidence in this bitch, which doesn't help because this is a podcast, but still.
I'm sure the way he'll explain it will be as if you're staring at it.
Vivid.
Yeah. It's going to be details that you can't even imagine hearing.
I paint with my word. No, I'm like Lovecraft. It was so horrible that it is impossible to describe. Well, then you're not a good writer.
Right. You're supposed to get what's in your head to the page, not leave it up to the reader to figure it out.
Yeah. Interpret it yourself.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It was a color as if somebody had taken orange and fed it to a shark. That does not make a color.
Huh. Well, what color is shark poop? So you just mix orange with shark poop?
No, it probably comes out all drizzly. They don't know.
Ah, it's like the string, like the fish string.
Yeah, because they're fish. What do they care? They're not fucking squeezing out.
They don't need to wipe.
Yeah, and they can never stop
pinching
swimming.
One off.
Yeah, if you had wow, this is the second episode in a row where the word cloaca came up. If you had a cloaca, everything's just gonna. Anyway, this guy was a security guard at a manufacturing plant, and apparently, as a special benefit, he got to live in a house that was right across the street from the manufacturing plant.
Lucky him.
Yeah, which kind of seems like a benefit, but then also it seems like, well, I guess I'm the only night watchman there'll ever be because I can't take the night off because if I do, whoever fills in for me will be looking across the street going, what are you doing over there, fucker? Too busy to fucking come over here and do your job? Fucking temp. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's probably what it would be like.
That's what I would do. I'd be so mad. He didn't work super hard because apparently he just sat on his front porch, and the watch part was he just watched the whole manufacturing plant. I guess the part of it that he could see from his house, I don't know whether it was built into a mountain so he didn't have to worry about anybody looking at
the other side,
sneaking up the back.
He had mirrors set up in the corners.
Yeah, he was on his porch drinking coffee, watching the manufacturing plant, dreaming about an alternate life where that wasn't what he did all night.
What he was doing.
And at 3 a.m., something moved around near the fence. And he was like, well, this is different because usually nothing moves around the fence. So of course, because America, he just whips out his gun immediately, because if somebody's near the fence of the manufacturing plant, obviously the penalty must be death.
Death. You must be stopped.
But he didn't charge right up. He just kind of scoped it out. And then he realized, that's no man. It's a space station. He said it was a fur-covered creature. And it was way too tall to be a normal man.
Fur-covered creature.
And it was super buff and very muscular. And
so it was a jacked...
Yeah, he was
jacked up werewolf.
And sometimes he walked on his back legs, and sometimes he dropped down to walk on all four legs, and he kind of looked like a dog. And he was like, well, fuck the manufacturing plant. I have to run inside and get a
new pair of underwear?
Nope. His camera.
Ah.
That's right. Because he was on the fucking job. I mean, technically... If they question him, well, why didn't you do anything? Well, my job title is Watchman, not Stop Criminalman. That's not, I just watch.
A cop.
Yeah. I'm more of a watching things guy. He got his little camera. He took a picture, and in your fucking dossier that I sent you, you'll be able to see the picture. Now, apparently, he set the camera for a long exposure.
Well, because it was dark.
Because
it was dark.
It was dark, and but the monster was under a lamppost, which was convenient. If you look at the picture, which I'll make sure that we put in the show notes, you see a light post, and there's something behind that light post.
There's something.
I mean,
I couldn't tell you what it is, but
it's
there's
a fucking Dogman is what it is. You non-believer. You Scully.
I want to believe. You
are a dirty Scully.
If all I see is a blob, then that's all I seen.
I went on a fucking Odyssey researching this shit because...
An Odyssey?
I was like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm just looking at my monitor going, enhance, trying to make the picture better to see the Dogman. And then I was like, well, I got to find some shit to fix this. And there are sites now where AI will be like, oh, we'll make your picture less shitty. And if you want to upload a picture of your dead relative, we can make it look alive and make you sad. Basically, it makes it into a Harry Potter picture that if you look at it too long, you're like, that's just a repeating GIF. But anyway, that wasn't what I wasn't going to try to make the Dogman look at me. Because I just wanted to say, all right, well, I want irrefutable proof that this is a Dogman. I didn't get it. And then there was a video... And I was like, well, I got to watch this video, but it was so long. And I was like, I can't. Why didn't they timestamp it?
You can definitely see a Dogman in this, but I don't know how much of that is because I want to see a Dogman.
I mean,
he looks like a jacked up, he's doing hunched over like this, and he's leaning forward.
Did you just say like this?
Oh, you have a camera. You can see me.
Yeah, but I can also see the picture. I know you imitated it well, but I'm trying to think of a cartoon werewolf that. Yeah,
I can't think of. I know I've seen one, but I have no idea what it was in.
Wasn't there a cartoon werewolf that just wore a vest and no pants? I don't know. Anyway, he went back into what was called the Haymarsh, but he walked on all fours. I couldn't enhance the picture, and then I tried to enhance the video. I had to go to security.com to make a temporary credit card so that these fuckers wouldn't charge me an arm and a leg. You know, the like the one-time use, or just, you know, you can put a limit on it or whatever. And then I was like, all right, enhance. And they were like, oh no, you got to pay credits to enhance. And fuck you, whatever. Wanting to make money off your thing. So that's all I got for that. But there is a picture. And the guy had like, he cared enough to take a picture. Now, I don't see, and this is where this has happened a million times on the show, the easiest thing to say is that it's a hoax. However, here's how many people have ever heard of the unnamed security guard from Big Rapids, Michigan in 1961. Nobody knew. So what did he gain?
Yeah, nobody's getting anything out of it.
It wasn't like the mayor had said, oh, anyone that brings me a picture of the he's not J. Jonah Jameson looking for pictures of Spider-Man. He's not going to pay top dollar for it. There's no reason for him to fake it. And that to me is significant.
Did these towns see any kind of tourism due to it or anything like that?
No. What? No, there's no.
If nobody's getting anything out of it, then I think that honestly that should take away it's a hoax. Like,
right. As if anything, he probably got made fun of a lot.
The only reason that you could have would be somebody just wanting to dick around.
Yeah.
Because there's no real reason to do it if there's nothing to gain from it.
It's like that fucking dude that made the Bigfoot shoes and just ran around in the woods for like 30 years. Yeah. Like giggling to himself. Like, oh, fucking.
Like, they're never going to figure it out.
Yeah. And they didn't. He had to confess because they're like, oh, geez, this Bigfoot sure is getting his steps in every day, because it seems like
he's everywhere.
We'll never find him. So we're going to time jump again, but this time. You know what? No, I'm not. Because look, I got fucking Dogman stories from California, from New York, from England, from fucking India. But the India one is just like, oh, we saw a dog that had a something guy. I'm like, that's not supporting evidence. Also, it's India. There's so many people in India. Odds are, statistically, there's at least one or two dogmen.
Out of a billion people, there must be something. Couple of mutations.
If you're 1 in a million, what do they say? If you're 1 in a million in India, there's 1,300 of you. And like, if 0.001% of the population is a dogman, that means the number is not zero. Now, I don't know where I got that statistic from, but anyways,
I think you made it up. But
every encounter we've seen so far, the dogman has not attacked. Not like the
no, he hasn't attacked anybody.
Not like the bear in that movie. The bear thing is going to come back around. So don't think I'm just obsessed about bear sex right now. Anyways,
a big fight between the dog man and a bear.
Well, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to.
Will it be just like what happened to Leo?
I don't know, because I didn't see the movie. I just think he ended up marrying the bear. I have no idea what that movie is about.
Yeah, I have no idea.
In 2007, supposedly a quote-unquote prominent politician from Benzie County, Michigan.
Oh,
and
boy.
I was like, you know what? I could narrow this down, because first of all, if you say you're an important politician, but your fucking jurisdiction is county, either your boss hog or a sheriff or the
right,
like county commissioner, which I don't know what they do. It's not like the police. I'm Commissioner Gordon. Really, you run the Gotham City Police Department? No, I run Benzie County, Michigan. By the way, if you're interested, there are 17,703 people in Benzie County, Michigan, and the county seat is Beulah. So that's kind of fun.
Wait. That's now?
That's now.
Oh my God.
What?
Our shit town's got like more than twice as many people as that.
Yeah, but what the fuck? We still know. We know exactly as many people here as we do there.
I'm just saying, how important was a dude that was in charge of a place with 17,000 people in it? That's all I'm saying.
If you're the most important person in the group of people that are looking for an important person, then that's how important you are. But anyway,
I'm king of the block.
He didn't want to get his name mixed up into it. So he didn't actually report the story. He had his brother-in-law do it. Now, if you say that you're somebody's brother-in-law,
right,
and you're going to tell the stories because you don't want to incriminate your brother-in-law, how many people could that possibly narrow it down to?
Yeah, you probably don't have a lot of brother-in-laws.
I am 5 people's brother-in-law. No. Yeah, 5. Total. Across both sides. That's not a lot. And out of all of them, if I said, oh yeah, no, they didn't want to tell the story because they didn't want to, they're too important, that would stump everybody because literally none of them are important in any way. They're nice, but they're not, like, none of them are diplomats or some shit like that. Anyway, he was driving home late one night when his eyes beheld an eerie sight. He saw eyes reflected in the lights of his car. This was 2007, by the way. We're in the 21st century now, so don't fucking come at me. And he was like, well, I better slow down because it's probably a deer, and you know what they say, don't run over deer because it'll fuck up your car.
Somebody needs to say that.
Deer are the insects of the land. There's so many deer, but they're cute.
It's still sad when you see them on the side of the road.
Yeah. But anyway, he slowed down and this deer didn't move. And he's like, well, fuck this deer then. I'm getting closer now. It must be a chicken because I'm playing chicken with whatever's in this road. And he was like, wait, it was a big wolf, he said. He was like, but it doesn't make any sense because his glowing eyes are so high up.
I don't understand the glowing eyes thing.
Well, I mean, it's like if you shine a flashlight at a cat, which don't do that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Then he realized this wolf is standing on its hind legs and standing over the carcass of guess what? A deer. So there was a deer in the story. And so this guy, being a county comptroller, or whatever the fuck he was not about to be, scared off by a giant wolf standing on the side of the road.
The coward of the county.
He's not the coward of the county. He's the opposite. He's the bravest man in the county.
The bravest man in the county.
He's the bravest man in Benzie County.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's Beulah Tommy. He's the toughest man from Beulah, which is the toughest town in the county, which is the 4th toughest county in the state. So he stopped.
Oof. Yeah.
And he was like, well, wait a minute. And this is apparently his thought process at this point. And this is where I think that he didn't want to get it back to his name, because then they're like, well, I don't know whether this is an appointed position or elected position, but whatever it is, he can't be trusted, because he was like, maybe it's a big stuffed animal that somebody put in the road to scare people. What kind of fucking impractical jokers thing is that? You know what we're going to do? We'll kill a deer, we'll throw it by the side of the road, then we'll get a giant stuffed wolf standing on its hind legs with LED eyes and just watch the hilarity ensue. Well, how do we know people are going to come by?
Eventually, I guess, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Aren't you you're in with one of the impractical jokers, right?
Well, I worked with him at Prudential, but he doesn't return my texts anymore.
All right, everybody, if you're ever doing a thing where you see the impractical jokers, just whichever one of them it is,
Sal,
hey Sal, you want to fight? I'll fight you. But it's just you and me. Just you and me and my giant fucking stuffed animal wolf that I'll throw at you to distract you. And while you're trying to fight that off.
But I'm just trying to think about, well, thank you for that. But I'm just trying to think about his thought process. Like, so he sees this, and then what does he like? Turn around and start walking back to the car, and all of a sudden goes, "Wait a second.
Right. Well,
dogs don't stand."
Wait a minute.
Weird.
That's
not
wait
right.
A minute. Yeah, that must be. I mean, it's
that's no
your
good.
mind is going to jump to stuffed werewolf thing, but then it ran off into the woods, and he was like, "Well, fuck."
Never seen a stuffed animal run before.
So he got out and probably feeling pretty shitty about his stuffed animal idea, but not so shitty that he didn't tell his brother-in-law to make sure that part of the story was released. He could have just skipped that part.
Yeah, like, why say that you thought it was something stupid?
Right.
Just say, I don't know what, I had no idea what it was.
It was like if you just threw in the middle of it, I thought it might have been a stuffed animal. And then I had to pee, but I couldn't wait. And anyway, it was okay because pee is stored in the balls. And since my balls have plenty of room, there's no reason for me, like, just don't offer that information when you're telling the story.
Exactly, exactly.
But when he gets over there, he's like, well, I got to investigate. I got a flashlight. It's 2007. So I'm pretty sure that the flashlight at that point wasn't tactical, because in 2007, we didn't need everything to be tactical.
Tactical, yeah. We could just use the old plastic crappy flashlights.
Right.
We didn't need mag lights.
Right. We didn't need any of that stuff. Obviously, once Obama got elected, then there was this huge group of people that thought they needed tactical everything. I need tactical big league chew so that I can dig a fucking bunker in my backyard.
If it doesn't say Bell and Howell, I don't buy it.
Exactly. It's funny. I do have Bell and Howell like solar lights. The
lights for outside. Yeah.
They serve no purpose other than if you know they're there, then you just go, oh, I wonder when it's going to turn on. If I take one more step, will I take two more? If you're not, then you're just going to be very alarmed that all of a sudden everything is lit up. Anyway, he took his regular non-tactical pre-Obama flashlight and he saw a paw print in the mud. And he was like, you know what? I got a digital camera. I'm going to take a picture. Now, why do I say digital camera? Because it was 2007. And
phones didn't have good cameras yet.
Right. The iPhone didn't come out until 2008.
Yep.
And then after that, there was the iPad. And everybody went, hey, look, they just taped 4 iPhones together and got to sell it to us again.
I love the people who use the camera on an iPad. And they'll go to like an event and they'll hold up this fucking 9-10 inch screen above their head. It's like, wow. Wow.
It's bad. That's why I always have a pocket full of used condoms so that I can just hurl them so that they on the back of the iPad. And if it sticks, that works, because then they're going to be like, well, I got to move this iPad because I don't want it to fall on me. And if it falls on them, then that's going to be the focus of their attention and not whatever the fuck their dumb kid is doing up on the stage. Yeah. So, and I don't mean used by me necessarily.
Oh, well, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just one man. Anyhow, he had the wherewithal to take a picture of the footprint, but then he realized, well, I don't have any perspective for this. So what did he use? A shotgun shell. He had a shotgun shell, and he said, all right, well, I'm going to put this shotgun shell in the print so that everybody can see how big it is. Now, that opens up a whole bunch more questions, because number one, it sort of validates the fact that he's the toughest guy in the county, because if he saw a giant dogman and the thing he came out with was a flashlight and not the shotgun, he just had the shotgun shell. What was he going to throw it at it? Like, or just blow into the back of it to try and simulate himself being a shotgun. He's like, oh, well. And now we can look at that picture.
I can do this.
We can look at that picture. You can see that he has his regular flashlight.
Yep, pointing a regular flashlight.
The shotgun shell. I'm trying to think of what else. You know why? It's because he didn't want to put a fucking bag of Twizzlers in there, which was the only other thing that was in his car, or like various other wrappers.
What if take his wang?
Yeah. He's trying to figure out how to fucking take. Then he had to wait.
That was one of the first thing guys took pictures of with like digital cameras, right?
Yeah.
Oh, true. Look, I could just take a picture of my wang.
The only reason that dick pics weren't invented, like selfie dick pics weren't invented as soon as the camera was invented, is because they were those big, complicated foof kind where you had to stand. There was no way you could run back and forth to like fucking dangle it in front of the lens while you're still supposed to be under the fucking little thing. But I do like the idea of him going, well, I'm going to use my dick for it. Well, no, why would you do that? Because if you're trying to say how big the fucking thing is, oh no, that would be it. Well, I got a huge fucking rod, but still look at it compared to this. And yeah, so that would work. So then I guess I could say the story was actually told by the second guy to come down the road that thought there was a dead man laying on the road holding the phone in one hand and his dick in the other one, trying to figure out how to get the angle right. And then he's like, bro, help me out. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to show how big this fucking monster's footprint is. I get my cock in the picture.
Well, let's just use this tape measure.
And then the guy that stopped went, well, I mean, yeah, I would think that you'd want to have it, as big as it could be while you're taking the picture. And the guy's like, come on, I'm lying in deer guts. Stop trying to fucking turn me on.
Arouse me.
Don't arouse me while I'm trying to fucking do science.
Measure stuff.
Yeah, anyway, Take my Canon one shot or whatever it was. The fucking my digital camera
super shot
held 256 megabytes of photos and cost $900. I bought it at Best Buy. I had to get the credit card, and now I'm in big trouble. But anyway, you'll be able to see this picture on the website as well.
There you go.
So somebody said, well, looking at the footprint, well, that's a bear. And the dude was like,
right.
A, fuck you, because I go hunting, so I know what bears look like. Right. And, I mean, I guess if you say you're going to go hunting for bears, the first part of the test to get a license would be to, like, show a picture of a bear and a picture of, like, a baby and go, which one is the bear? And if they can't choose, then they don't get the license. They're immediately disqualified. Yeah, that would be. So he was mad. He's like, yeah, no, I know what bears look like. Fuck stick. And that was the end of that.
Well, all right then.
If you want more information on just who this was, the county clerk's office in Bendy County, you can reach them at 231-882-9671 or toll free 800-315-3593. And I think filing a Freedom of Information Act to find out just which county official this was is the most important thing that could be happening in Benzie County right now.
I just looked up, like, bears have 5 toes. This picture has 4 toes and a ped, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure. I'm like, how did he mix that up? They have wrong number of toes.
Maybe he got his toe blown off. In the defense of the bear people, they could have been like, yeah, no, I think that bear lost one of his toes because he was a lumberjack.
Ah, see?
See, what had happened was lumberjacking is a dangerous job. So...
Wait, hold on a second. So let me just get this. The Dogman at this point is an ancestor of those original lumberjacks and the bear man from that time.
Okay, well, the third possibility of what happened with the fucking lumberjack was that A, they ran, B, they chased it, C, they had a beautiful, fulfilling poly relationship for the rest of their days in the woods, making more dog people.
That's really what I think happened.
And honestly,
makes sense.
You can be like, okay, well, so then it was obviously a dog woman. Yes, the first one was probably a dog woman.
Yes.
And then if you say, oh, well, it's going to be incest, it's a dog woman. I don't think it's going to get worse. She's, it's not.
Yeah, there's enough mixtures of stuff going on in there.
I say if you are a human-animal hybrid and your sex chances are the other human-animal hybrids on your island, I say go for it. Just go for it.
Dr. Moreau.
Yeah. So then we're going to jump. I'll give you a choice.
Oh, I like choices.
Yeah. We can do Bray Road or we can do Katie Zahn.
What was the first one?
Bray
Your
Road.
thing went like
Bray Road.
Do Bray Road. Bray Road.
Bray Road is in the township of Alcorn in Wisconsin. See, we're out of Michigan now, baby.
Out of Michigan.
We've broken out. We're wilding into a whole nother state. Now,
the next state over.
To be fair, I would say that if you are a man dog, right, or a woman dog, I think that geographical boundaries, political, mind you, would not be the first thing on your mind.
No, I can't imagine you would care that there's a sign that says you're now entering Wisconsin.
Right.
Land of cheese.
Instead, also, I think it's Elkhorn, not Elk.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
God, I hate this place.
This show sucks. Oh. It's fucking terrible. But I also am going to say that it's very far from where the other sightings were.
Like, really?
Far. Yeah, it's far. It's like south of Milwaukee, and the Upper Peninsula is way no. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is,
it's far. That's all. We're good.
In the late 80s and the early 90s, there were a bunch of sightings of a werewolf, supposedly. A local reporter named Linda Godfrey, the head of the whatever news agency was, you suck at getting me pictures of Spider-Man, so go find out about this werewolf. So this was...
Did these sightings coincide with the American Werewolf movies?
No, this is 2016.
All right.
She ended up writing a book called The Beast of Bray Road. This Linda Godfrey. Damn. A book I did not read because the story I'm going to relate is just fucking chef's kiss. Because there was a couple on their porch, according to the reports, sharing a cigarette.
Right.
And in my experience, the only time you share a cigarette is when you only have one cigarette.
Yes.
Certainly not romantic at all.
Unless it's the post-coital cigarette.
Then why were they on the porch?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, see?
Get the stank out of the room.
I guess. They had 300 acres of vacant land in front of them. I don't say they own it. I'm just saying that it was in front of them.
It's there.
Then they saw that there was an animal that was creeping along flat to the ground. They thought it was like 7 or 10 feet long. And they were like, holy shit, look at that long ass thing walking through the grass. Also, stop getting so much spit on this cigarette. I want to break up.
It's wet.
Oh.
Oh, that's great.
If you listen to the I'm going to die. If you listen to the show and you ever smoke cigarettes, which I know are demographics, I know so many more of you did than would admit it. But
yeah, if
anybody ever said, oh, yeah, no, you can hit my cigarette, and you fucking took a drag and it was like you were sucking on a fucking sponge.
Oh, man, that was so gross.
This is the worst episode that we've ever had because I just had that thought in my head. It happened. Anyway, they were like, well, look at that fucking thing. That's odd. And while they were talking on the porch, it went, well, fuck this. And it ran towards the woods. And when it got to the edge of the woods, for some reason, it stood up and was a big, buff fucking werewolf that was like 8 feet tall.
Oh my God.
That was being stealthy before, but apparently once
it was like crawling, like it was doing
was
like
creeping.
Like the creeping thing, like all the way down low.
Yeah, he's creeping along, and then they were like, all right, well, now I'm scared, but I'm going to go over here and then give the definition of a weird flex. If he had just done it when he was near him, they would have been really scared. But if you run away, you look smaller because of distance.
It's also something that you need to consider, too. If it has, like, a dog head, it could only have the intelligence of a dog. Like, it's just going to be scared of things and stuff like that.
Not a border collie.
I guess it depends on which breeds.
A border collie can open combination locks.
Oh, I know. They're ridiculous.
And use a slide rule. They're smart.
They're super smart.
So anyway, they were like, well, no, it seemed like a person. It seemed like a dog man.
Oh.
They would have said. Then we jump to, we're going to go back in time to Katie Zahn. We're going to go back to 2004. And she's a kid, well, a young woman, and they were hanging out in some field. I don't know what they were up to, probably smoking weed. And they heard some noises in the trees by a stream. So they went over, and they said that they saw 3 large dog creatures drinking from the stream, except they were drinking out of their cupped hands because they had people hands.
Hot damn.
Now that's scary, because if you're just a regular dog, but you have people hands and you're a border collie, then you're formidable. Now, if you're like a pug, then the only thing you'd be able to do with your people hands is write on a dry erase board, I'm in constant misery. Why did
you make me?
Yeah. And
bulldogs, all those little push face things.
So they just fucking booked it. They were like, hairy fur men, using their hands to drink out of a stream. This is 2004. We're right in the middle of the Iraq War. These could be fucking Al-Qaeda dog.
Al-Qaeda man dogs.
Yeah, exactly. The army wouldn't be looking for them. If you were a dog with person hands, you could just get some mittens that look like dog feet, and you would be able to do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, you could walk around like Scooby-Doo. And then when you want, walk on your hind feet like Scooby-Doo.
Exactly. So you may have...
He's total Scooby-Doo.
You may have cracked the fucking case.
It was a large Great Dane.
They didn't take any pictures because it was 2004. And if their idea of leisure time was sitting in a field, then they didn't have the money to fucking have a
they didn't have cell phones or anything like that.
Or a Canon digital camera.
Super Shot, Power Shot X12.
That had that fucking cord, the kind of thing that had the 2 screws on either side of it, that you put it in the back of the fucking computer and you had to screw it in really tight.
Yep. Oh my god.
She did say though, well, fuck you, I'll take a lie detector test.
Uh-oh.
And she did.
And
she passed it. Now, did I find out who paid for the lie detector test? Was it like one that they bought at a joke shop? Was it like the lie detector equivalent of the game Operation? Where you gotta be, if you're lying, you're gonna hit the sides. But whatever it was, she passed it, and they never gave it to her 2 friends, because they were just fucking sidekicks. They weren't the fucking boss of the gang. Obviously, that was
the big money.
Yeah, that was Katie. Katie fucking ran that show.
Katie Z
passed the lie detector. California, New York, India. I'm not going to relate these stories because it's just kind of along the same lines.
So he travels.
No, it's not one thing. It's not like Moby Dick. It's a race of man dogs.
That's what I'm saying, though. But there's a race of beings in which there's only maybe a few hundred, few thousand of them. I find it difficult to believe that they would disperse throughout that much of the world.
It was the man dog diaspora. They had to separate and intermingle with the humans.
Other dogmen. Man dog meets dogmen.
And obviously they had to send the women because people are open. There's sexuality is a thing that is embraced. But I am going to go out on a limb and say, if you this guy's really nice, and you got him home and she's like, oh man, and he takes off his pants and he's got a fucking red rocket lipstick thing going. I think you're probably going to go, I was not expecting this, and back out. Now,
right.
I know there are people that would be like, it would not be the red rocket that makes them mad. It would be the fact that there's so much human around it. Like, if you're going to do it, then just have it be
right.
know, a sentient space dog, so then it's not,
don't make it look human.
Right.
Like, why?
Right.
It's just a slight modification of a human. Then it's not even a dog, really.
So then there was the one in England, and I kind of wanted to do the one in England just because, like, the story is fucking.
Did it turn out to be Paddington Bear?
No, but the lady says, sitting here for an hour or so. My husband decides to head inside for a shower. I told him I'd be inside shortly. After about 30 minutes of him being gone, I started to hear these strange noises. It sounded like someone was walking behind our fence. This was odd because it was gone 10 p.m. at night. And usually we don't get people back there. I tried to ignore the noises, but every so often I could hear the snapping of twigs. Being a naturally nosy person, I decided to try and find out what's going on. I located a slit.
Sounds like Graham Chapman.
She located a slit in the panel.
Yeah.
And she looked through. I was shocked to see what looked like a large, hairy man.
Oh, no. It was Bob from Bob's Burgers.
And then she was going to tell her husband, but her husband was already in the shower going, if all goes right, then my wife is now being super turned on by the large, hairy man I hired.
Hairy man.
We're going to be in a hot threesome. But anyway, it all went wrong.
That sounds likely.
Yeah. I wouldn't leave that up to chance. I think if you're not there at the right time to suggest the threesome part, I don't think that's where somebody's head's going to go.
Yeah.
Solid
point.
So where does that leave us? Well, with theories, of course, and you're going to get to vote on them.
I love voting.
I mean, the audience, ladies and gentlemen, you can vote if you want. I don't know how we would record. You can vote if you want to. Number one, dire wolf. That makes zero fucking sense. It would just be a regular wolf that's bigger. That's not.
Right. That doesn't mean it stands on its hind legs or anything like that.
And they don't have them anymore.
Or it could cup its hands.
Right. Or go to England. Well, maybe they were over in England. Maybe King Arthur was chasing them around or some shit like that. But anyways, I'm going to just write that off. The second one is sort of a catch-all. And the theory is blind idiots, which is, okay, you are all dumb because you thought you saw a man dog, and instead you saw something that wasn't a man dog.
Like you saw a dog.
Right. Or a man carrying a dog, but hold them up like in The Lion King, like up above his head. That's why his eyes were so high up. And the reason that he held them way up there was to distract the fact that, like, witnesses from the fact that he was completely nude and had a red rocket. So most people think, you know what? You probably all saw bears because bears are really big and bears stand on their hind legs. I can see it. They do look
like people. They look kind of like people standing up.
Sometimes they look like someone that, like,
it's silly.
They remember that they know you, but they don't remember from where, so they kind of halfway. And then you're like, bears, they're just like us. And then they eat your fucking head with one bite because they're bears. Stay away from bears. Bears don't need you in any way. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. That's my public service announcement.
I like bears.
Well, yeah, you can like them, but you can like them from afar.
I'm going to go pet one.
No, don't.
I know.
Don't. And don't get sucked into Animal Friends TikTok where there's little bears being friends with deer and stuff like that. Because later on, it'll grow up.
Some of that.
eat that deer. So
yeah, I know.
It started in Michigan. We're calling it the Michigan, I have to say Dogman, even though I don't want to, because I want to say man dog.
Man dog.
Because I think a dog acquiring, because honestly, if you were a person and you were like, I'm going to merge myself with an animal to become more powerful, why would you pick a dog? That's like the last, I don't think Manimal ever turned into a dog. That would be like one of the lowest. We love dogs because dogs love us. But
They're
if you were going
subservient to us,
mix yourself with an animal, I don't think it would be a dog. Because what are you gonna? What's your extra power you're gonna get? Oh, I can eat my own shit without puking, and I can smell better, which doesn't seem like a good idea at all. I don't want to have dog smell and then walk through my own office with the fucking trap screams of a million farts that I've fucking let in here. That's not.
Yeah, that's not.
No, it's bad.
That's not good for anybody.
I would pick any. Well, not any other animal, but a different animal.
But no, but there are a lot of easy choices above a dog.
Yes, octopus. Breathe underwater.
Octopus would be an excellent choice, and they're super smart.
Yeah, they're probably smarter than you would be. The best idea you would ever get would be part octopus, and then you'd have sucker arms. You could smush yourself into someplace really small, have a really hard beak. I mean, that's just your
like shark.
Then you're not an octopus person. I think if you were a person with an octopus head, that would suck because it would just flop over to the side because it didn't have any bones in it.
Yeah. Oh, totally. That's like when they do like the mermaid thing, right? Like the only way you would imagine like banging it is if it's like a normal person on the top, but then it's a fish down there. So how you can't even do that, but it's like you would never want it that way.
What do you mean? Who are you banging?
No, the other way. The other way, like the way you just had it is like the human bottom, but it's got like the animal head.
Yeah, if you were a person with an octopus head that just lolled around like whichever way gravity had it because there's no bones in it, that would not be great. Because it would be like, why does that guy have a fucking Publix bag full of water for a head? It's just rolling around there, but the rest of his body is normal.
Well, there's obviously better choices than octopus, okay? Obviously.
But if it was the other way around, if you had octopus arms instead of regular arms, like
I think they could do pretty well.
2-person arms and 2 octopus arms? Now you're talking.
Yeah. For the delicate work, you got the human hands.
Yeah.
And then you got the
I don't know.
The slapping and bapping.
I'm not going to let you throw me out of this bar. You have the sucker grip hands. There was one other thing that a couple of the fucking sources said, and they were talking about the Cheyenne dog soldiers, which, don't get it fucking twisted, people. The fact that it had dog in the name has nothing to do with it. They were not fucking people that turned into dogs. That's just what they called them.
That's what they called them.
Fucking Zeta troop, but they just called them dog soldiers. And they were really tough. And I wish that they had killed us all. But alas, they did not. So if you ever study up on, if you're like really pissed that I didn't tell you the Sacramento story and you're like, well, fuck that show. I'm going to go listen to a real fucking show that tells me all the fucking story. Fuck them. If that's your game, then go ahead. You can do Sacramento and New York. I don't care. Do India, whatevs. But don't
do it all.
Believe the fucking hype that it had anything to do with Native Americans, because it didn't. Because if they had the ability to make
don't believe the hype
man-dog monsters, then they would have done it and killed us like at the beginning. Like if you could go back in time, you go back and go, hey, there's going to be people coming along, sir, in a big ass boat. Kill them.
Yeah, they're going to be nice at first, and then.
But no, They will never be nice. You won't know how nice they are because you are going to North Sentinel Island them. As soon as they come on, we'd like to worship our Lord and be flap, 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 and they just get like a million fucking arrows in their head. Just keep doing it.
Hawaii.
Yeah, it's by India. They just kill everybody.
There's one in Hawaii that's privately owned that somebody was killed. Some freaking missionary.
No, you're thinking about North Sentinel. We did that episode way back in the day. They finally India was like, don't go fucking near it. You're gonna get in trouble if you go near it. Leave them alone. They certainly don't care about you, and if they do care about you, it's so that they can kill you. And full stop. Leave them alone. Wow. I also found out, you know what? Maybe we'll do an episode on some protected people in the Amazon that usually, if you hear something that the Brazilian government did, it's not so great. But in this instance, it was like, okay, well, this whole area of the Amazon, if you were ever fucking thinking of going there, don't go there because there's people in there that don't have any immunity. Like, basically, they've been there for thousands and thousands of years and they ain't coming out. Stay away from them because they're not immune to any of the diseases that you can get.
Right.
And just stop. So anyway, maybe we'll do that. In some, but that would have to be like a compilation show because I think I just told you the entire story.
Okay.
But whatever. Man Dog of Michigan, the last piece, 1987. A radio DJ decides, hey, you know what? I make a cool $8,500 a year being a radio DJ. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a song about the Michigan Dogman. And so they did because they were DJs. What else do they have to do? If they're not playing records, then that's literally all they have to do. They did the song. They swear that it was a prank. They didn't know anything about it, but it didn't say, oh, the Dogman, but they said that it was half man, half dog, and that it supposedly struck every 7 years. Now, the legend that goes back to the lumberjack offs is that it would strike every 10 years, but on the sevens. So 1887, then 1897, whatever. So 1987 would have coincided if they had put them up to it, if they were like super intelligent dogs with human faces and they just came walking in one day and said, we'd like to talk to you, Jack. And we'd like you to make us. Why don't you make your own song? Because we can't write. Because we're not the kind of man dogs that have people hands. We just have people faces. Stop being an asshole, Jack. We need to use your fucking... You're an influencer in this little fucking podunk town. Anyway, he did the song. And after they did the song, people started calling up going, oh, yeah. How did you know about this thing I saw when I was 7? And that started bringing out all the man dog stories. I don't believe it. I think he knew all along. I think he's a big liar. That's what I think.
So he claims that it was just a total coincidence.
A total coincidence. He didn't call it a cat man or a fish man or a bear man. Like, it's just, I don't get
Or
it.
a bird man.
And you know what? If they were giving out human hands, I bet the bear would go, no, I'm good. What do you mean? Don't you want an opposable thumb? No, I want to be able to knock a tree down with my giant death paw in one swipe.
Yeah, I don't need to be writing.
While you are over there with your fucking stylus on your fucking Newton trying to write shit down. Stupid. So anyway, at the end of the day, what have we learned? We have learned that the people of Michigan,
very little,
and some people in Wisconsin. Don't you disparage my research, you son of a bitch. I not only, and I'll tell you after the show, my technological advances. But anyway, look, folks, if you are from Michigan and you have encountered the man dog, please let us know. If you are a time traveler from back whenever the Leonardo DiCaprio movie was, not when it was made, because that's not far back enough, when it was set,
when it happened,
and you can find out what kind of sexual relationship that man had with that bear, let us know.
Let us know. We would really appreciate that.
And if you want to just get in touch with us for any reason other than a random YouTube comment that says you suck, which happens more often than I would like, no, I don't mind admitting it.
Yeah, whatever.
Now, where do people go to find our joy so that they can find the YouTube page and make shitty comments that I will inevitably get distracted by?
They can go to allmylinks.com/strangefulthings, and that has all our links in all the social media platforms.
And when they're not doing that, what should they be doing?
Keeping on flapping.
Bye-bye.